All right, let's see if we are live. Looks like we have a little bit of a delay.
Okay. I'm checking too.
All right, there we are. I see us on YouTube. Kelly, you're checking Facebook?
I'm trying to check Facebook. We're not quite there yet. Oh,
Nope.
there we are.
Yay, we did it. It's always like,
I know it's always like, and even now I'm every time Facebook changes every time. So I'm like, okay, how do I see the comments so I can say hello?
hello, everybody. Go ahead and chime in and let us know where you're watching us from. Thank you so much, those of you that are joining us live. And if you're catching us on the replay, we're glad you're here as well.
All right. I'm trying to see if I can get trying to see if I can start live. There we are. Perfect. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I gotta make sure I mute here. Hi, everybody. Okay, I finally can see everyone saying hi. Oh, there's someone coming from Carol's stream. Someone that works at LawnFawn was originally from Carol's stream. That's pretty cool.
I'm going to make a little quick adjustment, Kelly, while we're letting everybody find us.
Perfect. Oh, someone from Canada, Minnesota, Savannah, British Columbia, Lake Arrowhead, California. Hi, California.
Woo, woo. North Carolina.
Hi, guys. We're so excited that you are joining us for our next Create With Us. These events are so much fun, and we're so excited to be getting crafty with you with all of these fun summer products. We're going to have a really good time. Someone says they haven't done their work. It's totally okay. You can't get it. You can't get in trouble at Create With Us. You can just hang out. You can do your homework with us. We're just having fun, and we're just excited to be here with you guys. Oh, someone from the Bay Area. Lots of fun. California hellos I'm seeing. Oh, aloha from Honolulu. Oh my gosh. Now we all wish we were there with you.
I'm just making all the adjustments over here. Don't mind me.
And you guys may hear Rebecca's voice. She's right on the other side of my computer, and she's responding to comments over at YouTube. We are both live at YouTube and Facebook. And then Shari is coming to us from North Carolina. I wish she was right over here, but she's way on the other side of the country. She is going to be responding to people on Facebook. So we've got people to answer questions, and of course, Jen and I here too. So we're so excited that all of us get to be together today too.
Yay. Yes, we are so excited. I'm noticing on YouTube, the link to the Create With Us handout is cut off a little bit, so I will fix that for next time. But I'm sure Shari and Rebecca will add it into the chat. If you guys didn't get a chance to download the handout, you can download it now. You can download it later, whatever you would like. It's a great resource to have. It'll have the coloring guides in there for you and all the prep work if you wanted to recreate these cards, again, with us tonight or at a later date.
Oh, somebody's from Scotland.
All right, and I do see that some people are commenting, Jen, that my voice sounds a little bit like kind of modulated.
It is breaking up a little bit. I did notice that.
Okay. We're hardwired. I could switch to the Wi-Fi, or do you think we just
I think maybe I don't think that there's anything I can do on my end. I'm just checking real quick before.
Okay. Thank you guys for putting up with our technical difficulties here.
Yeah. No, there's
from the design team is in the comments, and there's someone else from North Carolina too.
There's really nothing I can do from this end, Kelly. Let's just try. Maybe once you're just chiming in, it won't be as noticeable.
Okay, and if not, I can always get onto Wi-Fi and off of the direct connection. We just got a direct connection in this room, so maybe there's an issue with it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, if this is your first Create With Us, we try to host these around the releases that LawnFawn comes out with. And so this is around the summer release. We are going to be using the really fun pool party stamp set. And I love summer. A lot of you guys already know summer is my jam. So I'm really excited to teach these cards with you guys. We're going to do 2 different cards. We go through Copic coloring, different techniques, and then we also just chat and catch up with everybody and answer questions. So it's a really fun, laid back way of all of us peeps that love Lawn Fawn to be able to hang out together. And we're so, like Kelly said, we're so excited that you're joining in and joining us. Awesome. Well, I'm going to switch the camera. And
I'm sorry, I'm trying to mute.
No worries. It's all good.
And all sorts of, we're using a different system here, you guys, and I don't know how to use an iPad. I do not have
Side
an iPad.
button.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. No worries.
I still have my 2012 iPad and it still works.
Hey, that's amazing.
That I watch Netflix on.
So you guys are going to be seeing my hands tonight, Jen's hands, and then you'll be able to see Kelly and I throughout the evening as we go through the cards. I always like to share with you guys the Copic markers that I'm going to be using, but more importantly, I always do a little swatch list for you. And this way, if you're using, a similar Copic marker or another alcohol-based marker, or maybe you're even using colored pencils, whatever coloring medium you guys want to be using tonight, the swatch guide I think is also really helpful because you guys don't need to have the exact supplies. This is meant to just be a guide and get you started. And so these are always included in the handouts that we provide. Also in the handouts are my coloring guides. These have become very popular. Everybody's been really enjoying these, which make me so happy that they're helping people, just with color combo ideas where to put the shadow, anything to help you guys have fun with your Lawn Fawn goodies is good with us. So we are going to jump right into coloring. And I share on the handout that this is actually a trick that I learned from Mona Toff, who is on the design team. I like to pre-die cut out my images because we don't have time to be doing all that during this class. But then these little images are hard to hold on to when you're coloring. So I just adhere them to some low tack tape. I've been using the Spellbinders Best Ever Craft Tape, but you could use washi tape, Post-it tape, whatever it is that you have in your craft room. And I'm going to do some zooming in, which I love that I can do with this software. Woo, woo.
I'm so glad that you guys are loving the coloring guides. They are awesome. And just in case you don't know, you can print those off of our website. And I know that they've been putting the links, and someone was just asking if you could maybe add the link into the comments again. These are really great because Jen has her original guide she showed you, and I printed out the guides. What I like about this is you can actually just trim these down and put them in with your stamp set so that you'll always have them as just kind of a fun guide too.
That's a great idea. So we're going to go ahead and start by coloring the sloth first. And I used some more like grayish browns. So I'm using E47, E43, E42, and E41. It sounds like a lot, but it's actually really, the main colors are the E43 and the E42, which those of you guys that have done classes with me before, or even joined us for Create With Us, I like to stick to kind of 2-color blending, which is pretty much what we are doing for the most part. So I always start with the darkest marker. And we'll get started, and then we always, I kind of do a little teaching, and then when we're coloring, we do a little chit-chatting, and we just have fun. So I'm going to start with the darkest marker, which is the E47, and I just want to add a hint of this dark marker just to add some richness to our blending. So I'm doing a little bit in his upper arms and around his side of his face, a little bit on his belly curve, and just a very thin line on the right side of his belly and his leg. And I'm actually going to shadow both sloths at the same time. Once we get into blending, we want to do one sloth at a time, but this kind of speeds up the process of coloring a little bit. If you're coloring them the same, you can kind of get some of that done at the same time. Yay. All right. And I saw somebody mention they wish they had a color printer. Just as another tip, I know it doesn't help you in this moment, but you could always email them to like a FedEx Kinko or a Staples or a local print shop, and they can print them for you too as well. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my E43 and I'm going to start to blend where we added the E47. And so I'm not going to color anywhere else on the sloth. I'm only going to focus on where that E47 is and saturate the paper so that the two colors blend together. And I'm also extending that shadow a little bit and making it a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, and take up a little bit more space. And this time we're only going to work on one sloth at a time, because especially if you're using alcohol-based markers, alcohol evaporates quickly. So we want to work on one image at a time, so we're not working extra hard to keep the paper saturated and damp. So this is what it looks like with that little bit of blend. And then
one thing to note, if you're using, watercolors or color pencils, this shadow and the shading will work in the same way. Just use your different shades of brown in your color pencils or whatever it might be.
Exactly. Thank you. And now I'm going to take the E42 and I'm going to, again, blend on the edge of wherever I had that shadow. And I always keep as much white as I can. I don't want to fill in the whole sloth just yet, and I'll explain why in just a minute, but I'm just blending that edge. Anywhere that shadow is, just softening the edge, making the two colors become one. So he kind of looks like this. And then everything that's left white, not his face, not his eye patches, but anywhere else that's left white, I'm going to continue with that E42 and color it one layer. This way we'll have the true lightest version of this color. If you go over and over and over, it gets darker and darker and darker. And then any of those harsh lines that we have from our shadow, we are going to blend out just by drawing lines with your marker or flicking out your marker, and that is going to soften those harsh edges. I did see that somebody just mentioned they didn't see the coloring guides. So the coloring guides are on the Lawn Fawn website, and they're part of the whole handout. So I don't remember how many pages it is. It might be like 6 to 8 pages.
Yeah, it starts on page 8. It's 8, 9, and 10 of the handout. And we'll have both Shari and Rebecca will post the links again right now in the comments. And when they post the links, you'll see it's going to take you to the page. Not only do we have Create With Us handout for this class we're doing right now, but we have all of the different classes too. So those are coloring guides for a lot of different stamp sets. So if you haven't gone to that page yet, you're not only going to probably want to print out this one, but you're going to print out the other ones too, because they're really awesome as well.
Yeah. And there's also links to the previous lives, so you can go back and catch them. When we first started doing them, they were just on Facebook, but now we're offering them on Facebook and YouTube. We're getting super fancy over here. So I am working on my second sloth. I'm going to do the faces later because we can do those together. So I just blended out that E47 with E43. Now I'm blending out with E42. And these are fairly small images, so it doesn't take too long to get them colored.
These guys are so cute.
I love them. I think they're so adorable with their little arms behind their heads.
Oh my gosh, when Erica sent me the images for this one, we were like, no, it's just so cute. Oh my gosh.
It's so cute. It's so cute. I mean, did you ever think you'd see a sloth like lounging?
I know, right? It's adorable. Oh, I love it.
And then I'm just doing
I
one layer of E42.
Sure, Jen. I love it too. I want the glitter one. I have to order it.
Oh yeah, glitter all the things. Coffee and crafting. I just restocked my shop. Please order because it's taking up our garage right now.
Yes, the glitter one is so cute. I like the coffee and crafting too, but I don't drink coffee because if you guys can't tell, I was born caffeinated, so I don't need more things making me hyper.
Yeah, right?
Extra caffeine.
Do you really want to see me on caffeine, Rebecca?
It would kill both of us if we were both caffeinated.
We can't both be caffeinated. Only one of us can, so we choose Rebecca.
So, hey Kelly, Gina was asking who designed these images.
So these were designed and drawn by Erica, who is one of the other owners of Lawn Funds. Lawn Funds owned by myself and my husband Mike and Erica. And we've been friends for over 20 years. We actually met in college playing in musicals. And she's an incredible artist. And so we came together to make the company, me as the crafter and her as the artist. And so we joke that together we form one functional person, you know? So,
Yeah.
So she's incredible and amazing. And she's the creative mind behind these images. She's just awesome. And this is when she just, sometimes we'll kind of collaborate on the sets, but this was when she just sent us and it was just like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's just so much fun.
I love it. I love it. Hey Kelly, do you want to try to use Wi-Fi and see if that will help you with your sound a little bit? You are a bit garbled.
Okay, let me turn my Wi-Fi on, and hopefully I'll come back with something, you know.
If something crazy happens, just use that same link and I'll bring you back in.
All right, I'm gonna just unplug my hard wire and fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm. So I'm using E41, you guys, to color both sloths' faces, just simple one layer. And then I'm gonna go back to that, back to that E47 and color their eye patches.
All right, can you hear me, Jen?
Yep, I can hear you.
Is it better?
Possibly.
Find out. It's so funny because you actually just upgraded the internet here at Lawn Fun, but
I'm wondering, you're using your laptop for your sound, right, Kelly?
Yes. Do you want me to change to something else?
No, not today. I think that will be too complicated. I'm just wondering, because you do sit a little bit farther back from your laptop, I'm wondering if maybe that might be why.
Let's see. How's that? Is that any better?
That does sound good. We can see as we go. All right.
For his eyes, what did you, was that E47 for his eyes?
E47, yep, for his patches on his eyes, and E41 for the rest of his face. Super simple.
I have a comment on YouTube. Somebody says off topic, but they want to know what stand you use for your cell phone.
So I use the Archon stand. They have a teal one in case anybody needed to know that part. And I do have it linked on my Genabler page on my website. And there is a coupon code that you can get 20% off if you're interested. Awesome.
Okay, a really very sweet comment by Jody. Thank you so much, Jody. That's so sweet of you. But it's her first class with us, so welcome. We're so excited. We were going to have more Create With Us continue on in the future, so we're excited to keep having you in class.
Yeah, we'll have more in the fall. Woo, woo.
Yeah, well, and maybe some kind of surprise one in the summer.
I just knew. I just leave it up to you to tell
Yeah,
all the
I know.
secrets.
I know. You tell me. I know we gotta focus on coloring cat. You tell me when to spill secrets.
All right. So we are going to color our kitties, and I kept it so simple. We are just going to color them to be like my kitty, Mr. Harley Kitten Circus. But you, of course, can color your kitties to look like your own if you would like. But I do love how simple Mr. Harley is to color. So I'm using W8. He's a black and white tuxedo kitty. He has a little bit of black going up his ears. He has a little swoop down his side of his face. And then we have all black tail. I actually, whenever there's a new cat that I have to color like Mr. Harley, I always have to go look at him because, like, I'm not gonna lie, Mr. Harley never lays like this. So I'm like, is there a black patch on his belly that I might be forgetting?
Does he really have little black patches on his belly like this?
So they come from the side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're coming from his sides is kind of how I'm doing it. But no, he has a lot of white on him actually, which again, I love when I have to color him. It makes it really easy.
So there's a couple of comments. So one person said, Jen, you said no more classes until fall. Hint, hint. Then there is, they love the way you tape the critters down and move them around.
Yay.
And then there is one, if somebody wants to know if Lawn Fawn will ever have another in-person warehouse sale.
Hopefully one day we'll do in-person things again. Fingers crossed. So I hope so, because I think that would be really, really fun to do that again. And this place is, you guys, if anyone's been here before, you wouldn't believe how we filled this place up.
Yeah.
So you would have a lot of fun here. So we would love to do that again. So hopefully in the future.
And I did say no more classes this summer, and what I meant was no more Create With Us's, although
there still are Gen class.
Hint, Kelly might have started to spill beans a little bit.
But talk about your classes, Jen.
Yes, this Friday I'm actually teaching Just Add Glitter. We're going to be glittering all of the things. And so that class is available. Again, I'll be live on Friday teaching it. But just like this class and all of my classes, you can always take the class after. I know Friday during the day might not work for everybody. Mostly my classes are on weekends, but because it is summer, I'm doing a Friday class, but you can definitely check out those details.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I have my Mr. Harley black spots all colored. So I'm going to now take RV10 and I'm going to rosy his cheeks, add pink to his nose and pink in his ears. He actually is really pink when he is playful and kind of chit-chatting around the house. But when he's sleeping, he's even more white. Like his ears aren't even pink anymore. But so cute. Hi, Libby. Hi, Michelle from Scrappy Chic. Oh my gosh, comments are like flying all of a sudden.
I know. Some people are still having issues with my sound. Rebecca, you're completely on mute, right?
I've got everything on mute.
Okay.
Let me just double check. Nope, that's mute, and that's mute.
I'm so sorry, guys. I wish I could do something else to fix it. Oh, people are watching this on their TV using their Fire Stick. That's pretty cool.
My gosh, that always makes me so nervous. I don't know why. I
know, because it's like very, you see I'm guessing you see like our
yeah, they're probably seeing all of my wrinkles, like, you know.
I always feel like, you know what, the wrinkles are okay. They're earned.
Somebody wants to know, so do you register, sign up for these classes, or are they just live that you do?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, so Jen, you can explain Create With Us versus your classes.
Yeah, so Create With Us, which is what we're doing tonight, is free, open to everybody, live on the public side. So, Lawn Fawn's Facebook page and Lawn Fawn's YouTube channel. We always announce the details for those when a new product launches. Hint, hint. So you can always find the handouts and all of that right when a product launches, so you can decide when you're placing your orders, maybe you want to get the stuff especially for this class. And so all of that info's there. My classes are also announced when a new product is launched, and they are private in a private Facebook group. And I've had a few people ask, and very nicely, like, why should I sign up for your class if you're doing the free classes? And I would just say it's even more ideas. I switch up the coloring guides, more tips and tricks, and more importantly, you're going to be making more cards with your supplies that you're buying. I can't tell you time and time again, the people that attend my classes are like so excited at just how many cards they're creating and how much they're using their products. And that just makes me so happy, because we want to use our stuff, right? And yes, my nails are naked. I saw that comment. Some weeks there just is not time for all the things.
So Jen, with your classes, if you can't attend live, can you still be a part of the class and the Facebook group and all of that?
Yep. You can, you'll have access to the private Facebook group and access to the class resource page. And every little class group has become these fun little communities. We've got people who are becoming crafty friends, which is really, really fun to see. You can watch them whenever you would like. You can go back to the videos. You can fast forward me, rewind me, pause me, all those things. So it's really, really nice. One of the benefits of online classes, I think.
Yes, for sure.
All right, so we are going to start to color the llama, and we'll continue to ask questions. We love answering your guys' questions, so please keep asking away. And I'm going to start coloring the llama. So I'm going to start with E02 for his shadow, and we'll do both llamas. We just got one llama. I saw the unicorn, was getting confused. So for the llama, I'm just going to go along the right side with the E02. Kind of in his little folded arm behind his head on the left side. And then I'm going to bring that color up his side of his face and a little bit on his poof of hair on his face. This is actually making me laugh. We actually just saw llamas in person here on the Cape at a farm. Yeah, he was not having it. He wanted nothing to do with anybody. So we just let him be, but they are really cute in person.
A lot of people are saying some beautiful, sweet comments about all of your classes. Thank you guys so much. Jen is the best teacher. You will definitely not regret being one of her classes.
Thank you guys.
I want to know if we ever do scrapbooks, or is it always cards?
Is there sometimes scrapbooks? Is that what the question was?
Yeah.
My classes tend to just be cards. I do have an advent calendar class that's still available. There's still a couple kits available on my website.
You guys need to do that class. Like, Jen gave me hers, and it's Miles's favorite thing in the whole world. Miles is my son, and it's literally like a work of art. You will not. That class is incredible. You will love it. You do Christmas in July.
Do Christmas in July. Have an awesome project. It is all Lawn Fawn. Everything's stamped and die cut for you, which is so nice because there's a lot of pieces. And I saw Claire's comment that she's in the UK, so custom fees are high. Most of my classes are, kits are not shipped out. So Claire, if you love Lawn Fawn and you're purchasing some Lawn Fawn stamps and dies, then you probably have a lot of the supplies that I'm using in my classes. So you don't have to worry about custom fees at all, which is a nice thing. Awesome. So I'm using E00 and I'm blending out the edge of the E02. Go ahead, Kelly.
Oh yeah, well, I want you to keep track, but people are asking questions about how our releases are working this year. So once we're ready for me to go over that, let me know.
Well, while I'm coloring the llama, you can chat away.
Okay.
Spill all the beans you want to spill.
I do love spilling beans. I'm really, honestly, a terrible secret keeper and a really terrible liar as well. You can ask Rebecca. They tried to play some April Fool's Day pranks here, and I was like, "You cannot involve me in this." Like, I literally stopped answering my phone because I knew I would ruin the April Fool's Day prank. Oh my goodness!
Which just told me even more.
Yeah, and I didn't pick up the phone. Rebecca knew it was, Then she figured it must have been a prank.
Because I know Kelly can't roll the secret.
but yeah, so I wanted to talk to you. A lot of people have been asking about what our releases are like here, and I know it's been a little bit confusing because they were all over the place the last 2 years. The combination of the pandemic and me having a baby made the releases all over the place. And this year we're back to a little bit more of a traditional schedule for us. So we had the release in February. We had our summer release in May, and then we're going to be having our fall winter release is going to be in August-ish. And then we do a small Valentine's release in December, which is exciting. And a fall winter release is a big mama. The one in December is our small Valentine's release, which we're working on that one right now. It's very, very cute. You guys are going to love it. And fall winter is so much fun. We have lots of cool stuff in it. But we are doing something special and a little different for us on June 29th. And we are so excited about it. So you definitely need to keep your eyes peeled. We'll start doing some little sneaks and hints probably on Instagram stories. And then come June 29th, we're going to have a really fun surprise at lawnfawn.com. So our summer release was in May, but we have something really cool on June 29th.
Ooh, we got a date.
Well, there's another question. Somebody wants to know if Miles enjoys making cards with his mom.
Miles hasn't made, well, I mean, he plays with the pieces. He thinks everything is a sticker.
Yeah.
So we put paper on the back of die cuts and stickers, and then he saves them. Like, he just found a mouse the other day from when we were working on the spring release. He's got all these little stickers everywhere. So he's more interested in stickers, and he colors in Lawn Fawn coloring books. And the holiday one is his favorite because he's very into like Santa. And so he loves it. So he colors them. And I laughed because this week him and I were coloring and he was scribbling and he went, "That's very good."
Aww.
Yeah, it was really sweet. He's very confident in his coloring skills.
That's so funny. So the llama was super simple to color. So I just wanted to quickly just say what I did for those that might not have the coloring guide in front of them. But I just used the E02 to do some shadow along the right side. I blended it out with the E00. And then I did his whole face, the E000. So I just wanted to explain that for those of you that are following along and coloring. And then we're going to color the unicorn, which I always love doing the unicorn because there's no right or wrong way to coloring anything, but all the like magical critters, you can just do whatever your imagination tells you to do, which I love. So I'm going to have a pink unicorn. I'm going to use RV21 and RV10. And I'm going to start with the RV21, and I'm going to go along the right side, add a little bit of pink along his little belly, under his chin, and then up kind of that right arm that's behind his head. And then I kind of am just going around his swooping hair on his back ear. And then I'm coloring in his whole snout, the RV21.
So there's two questions. One, somebody's asking if there's any new ink colors coming. Not yet, but if you have ideas of what colors you're looking for, let us know. And then there's another, somebody's asking why June 29th is a special day or an anniversary.
No, it's not a special day. It is just the day that worked. So we just thought it was just fun. It's kind of like, I don't know, it feels kind of in the middle of summer. It seems like a good time to have some new crafting goodies, right? So we're excited for June 29th.
It's a special day now.
Yes, exactly. And we
So
do have the new ink cube set coming out.
Yeah,
We do have a new one in fall winter release. We do have a new ink cube set because we had, as soon as we had 4 colors, we make a new mini ink cube set. So we do have that coming out.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Sorry.
And so I'm just blending out the RV21 with RV10, making sure to leave some white. So we'll have a really nice light area on our unicorn. And then I'm just going to fill in the rest of that with just one layer of the RV10. Now, light colors like we did the llama and the unicorn, you might want to go back in with your dark and add a little bit back in where we originally put it, just to get some of that definition back in. That's totally up to you and up to whatever look you're going for. So I'm just dabbing a little bit where I previously put the shadow before.
And so some people asked about June 29th. So we have a fun surprise. We were talking about our releases. We had our summer release in May. We have our fall winter release towards the end of August-ish. But we're doing something special and fun for summertime on June 29th. So keep a lookout. We'll be sending out emails and doing social media. There'll be a video. There's all sorts of fun things. So I think you guys are going to love it.
And we might just all be together again sometime this summer. So I'm going to start to color his mane and his tail. And so I alternated purple and teal. So for the purple, I'm going to use V04 and V01. And very quick and easy, I'm just coming down from the top of his head and then from his bum on his tail. I'm doing the middle stripe. I'm going to zoom back in for you guys. And then I'm going to blend that out with the V01.
While you're doing that, somebody is asking if you switch the nibs on your Copic markers, which I know you have, but maybe you can explain.
Yes. So I have a Copic 101 blog post on my website, on shirkus.com. And so I talk about this, but I like the Copic originals because I like having this little bullet nib. But what I've done with my broad tip is I've switched it. Oops, not this one though. Not all of them. I've switched them to be brush tips. And this brush tip is shorter than the super brush that comes with Sketch. So I personally find that I have more control. Thank you, Kelly. But
I'm showing you the Sketch. So
yep. But if you already have a lot of Sketch and you wish you could have a small bullet tip, you can switch your broad tip to be a small bullet tip on your Sketch markers. So, but yes, I use the Copic originals. That's just kind of how I started. I do have some Sketch, but mostly originals. So the teal for the mane and the tail hair, I'm using BG13 for the shadow. And then I'm blending out with the BG11. Again, this is pretty quick and easy because it's very small. And small areas like this, you guys, you do not have to feel like you have to two-color blend. Oh my gosh, so cute, Kelly. You do not have to feel like you have to two-color blend. You could do just one color and your unicorn will be just as cute. I just like to show as much information as I can in a class, and then you can take from it what you want to do, you know, take it or leave it type of deal. I am going to go back to that RV10 and just trace the diagonal lines on the unicorn horn. And then lastly, I'm going to color the hooves of the unicorn W8 and of the llama W8.
And then we have a couple questions. Someone's asking if that cute bear splashing in the rain that was a gift of purchase in February is ever going to be released again. And it will be most likely next spring. We don't know exactly yet. We haven't made a decision, but one day he will come back because he's way too cute to just be hanging out. He needs to come back. He's very, very cute. And then we'll come out with the dies for him as well. So if you got him as a gift of purchase, and we'll have the dies available when he comes out. But I'm guessing probably spring.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then there was another little question. If there was a llama that they love our llama, and there isn't a llama in the fall winter release, but we have done some cute winter llamas. We also have one of my favorite mini sets, which is the winter alpaca, because the sentiment says alpaca my scarf. It's very cute. So we do have a lot of cute, like wintry themed llama alpacas that you would probably really love.
Yay. So we're going to start to color our beach ball. So I'm going to do alternating stripes, teal and orange. So for the teal stripes, we're going to use the BG13 and the BG11 again. So I'm going to start by just adding some of the BG13 down from the top and along the right side on that kind of main front stripe on the beach ball. We're also going to have white stripes in there too. So I'm going to skip the next one. It's going to be orange, then it's going to be white, and then we're going to have teal again back here. So I'm just doing a little BG13 along the right-hand side. And then I am going to blend it out with the BG11. If you've taken classes with me, we use this color combo in almost every class. Everybody's been buying BG11 refills.
It's definitely my most used marker, I think, is BG11.
Yeah, it's just so perfectly beautiful. And then for the orange, we're going to use YR04 and Y17.
I like hearing your birds, Jen.
Yeah, right? They're always so vocal. Hopefully it's not too distracting. I was telling Chris, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and that's just something I notice, but I grew up in the woods, like 5.5 acres of land in New Hampshire. I feel like we have the most variety of birds, and they're so vocal and so active in our little yard here on Cape Cod. All right. So I'm just adding that.
People are still talking about my voice, so I'm going to try something else with preferences here on my mic, because I was doing voiceovers earlier today. So I'm like sitting here thinking maybe that's why, like it. No, it's got the right. Let me see.
So I just use YR04 along the right-hand side of that stripe next to the teal, and then a little bit on that back stripe. And then I'm going to blend it out with the Y17. It also might be, oh, did you find something?
Yeah. Does this sound any better?
Keep talking.
Testing 1 2 3. No, it's like the pressure's on. I usually can fill silent
I
space.
know, right?
Does it sound any better?
It actually does to me. So we can see.
Okay. Fingers crossed. I just changed the input. I think because I've been back and forth between mics, maybe this will help.
Yeah, maybe. And then lastly, something else that I did is I brought in that E41 marker again. And this won't show up on screen as well, but if you're doing it in person, you'll see. I'm just inlining the white stripe along one of the sides, and it just adds like a little bit of dimension. So it's not just white paper. It kind of just makes it look more 3D. I'm going to bring it up to the camera, but I don't really think. Oh, yeah, you can see it. So just a subtle little line, and I really think it just kind of makes it look more dimensional. So some of those crazy things that sometimes I do.
Okay, good. I'm so glad it's sounding better for you guys. Hopefully, I was doing we have Inspiration Week starting tomorrow, which is exciting for the rest of our summer release. So we've got intro videos coming and all the stuff. So I've been working on those, and I think the switching back and forth with the mics is making my computer mad. We have a really good question here, Jen. It says, when lawn switches the style of critters, Does it mean it's a different artist, the same artist changing the style of drawing? That's a really good question, and it's both. So we do sometimes work with other artists, and then Erica then puts her touch on those, and then sometimes it's just Erica drawing in different styles, and we even will call the different styles different things depending. And so she likes to switch up and try different things, and we also like working with other freelance artists, and then Erica will then kind of put the Lawn spin on that art. So I think it's really cool that there's different styles to play with, but yet we try to keep that consistency so that you can like put all the llamas together, or put the elephants together and things like that. So it's fun to try different styles and have different looks, but we love that we can have different characters that match, like all the mice too.
That is definitely, I mean, I create with a lot of different brands, but that is the one thing I love about Lawn Fawn is you can pull out a set from 100 years ago and pull out a set from the summer release and they'll work together. I love that because it just lets your imagination like run wild because there's so much fun sets to create with, and it's like, ooh, I can do this and I can do that, and it's just, oh, I love it. I love it.
And one more thing, FYI, Inspiration Week is Thursday, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is not Thursday. We have one more day before Inspiration Week starts.
I thought the big giveaway is not tomorrow.
The big, okay, I don't know. Shari texted me saying it's Thursday.
Okay,
So
I'm
giveaway is tomorrow.
All I know is Shari was texting.
I'm gonna find out for sure.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to take the RV13. We're going to work on our flip-flops and our snorkel mask next. And I'm going to take the RV13 and I'm going to just color in the thong part of the flip-flops. Solid. And then I'm going to go along the left side of the left flip-flop and a little bit on the right side of the right flip-flop. And then for the snorkel mask, I just want to make sure I'm staying on camera. I'm going to do the little mouthpiece, and then I'm going to go around the whole goggles with the RV13, a dark pink.
Yes, Shari is correct. And that actually gives me a nice little life breather because the
Look
video
at
was
that.
so I have a whole other day.
A day. When does that happen?
Yeah, so Thursday is the big giveaway post, and we'll have the first video that's going to post that night. But you know what? It was probably for the best that I thought it was Wednesday.
I know now you're going to procrastinate.
Exactly. I'm sorry, Shari.
And then we do have a lot of people from Long Island. Hello, Islanders! Yeah. I'm originally Queens, but then I moved to Long Beach, Long Island, which is very confusing since there's a Long Beach, California right here too. But
so funny.
Rebecca is a resident New Yorker.
Oh my gosh, I just saw Linda's comment. If I bring you dozens of my shortbread, will you swap out the tips for me? Oh, send me an email. Send me an email,
Yeah.
Linda. It's so easy.
I'll switch out all your markers for shortbread.
Hey, don't be stealing my shortbread.
I'm like,
She
I
asked
want
me. So I am blending this, the flip-flops out, you guys, with the RV21.
Let's see. Oh, someone's talking about how you can mix and match the sets. Yes, I love being able to do that. It's so fun. Oh, someone wants panda stamps. Oh, that could be fun. We haven't done pandas in a long time.
I've done pandas. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
I'm going to use BG11, and I'm going to color in just the glass of the goggles, the snorkel mask.
Somebody says that this stamp set makes them feel cool. Yes, I think the entire country is melting right now.
Yeah, I am not a fan. I'm ready for winter.
Shh.
Sorry. And by winter, I mean weather that's 72 degrees.
Yeah, we have to once.
How about I'll say I'm ready for 72.
We actually just broke humidity last night, so it is, I hate to say it, but it's like the perfect temperature. Like the fact that I can wear like a little sweatshirt in the evening and have the slider door open. This is what I live for.
That's what we want.
That's winter. Yeah, you're talking about winter.
No, this isn't winter. This is New England summer, and I'm enjoying it, and you guys be quiet. I only have like 8 weeks of it, so. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our inner tubes. I'm gonna zoom back out a little bit. And I gotta peek at my samples and make sure that I color them correctly. Okay. I was telling Kelly, I feel like sometimes I design cards so long ago that I forget a little bit of like what we were doing. So let me just explain what we're doing, and then we can I'm just going to keep coloring. So those that want to watch me can watch, but then we can chit chat. But basically 3 of the inner tubes are going to be the same color combo, and 1 inner tube is going to be its own color combo. So 3 of them are going to be this multicolored inner tube, and 1 is just going to be the lime green and white. So what I'm going to do is just show you with the purples how I do the shadowing, and then we're going to do the same process on all of the inner tube coloring. So the purples are, oops, not this 15. I pulled that out to show you guys the brush tip. It's V04 and V01. And I'm going to start with the V04. And I am going to just take the color from the center of the inner tube and brush it up, just like so. And then the stripe across from it is also going to be purple. Okay. And then we are going to blend that out with the V01. So just dabbing the edges until we don't see a line anymore. And then just fill in with 1 layer. If you feel like you have any awkward lines, you could go back to that V04 and just kind of add some shadow back in. And that's what we're going to do. Each section of the inner tube is going to be the same way. All right. So I will always show my markers and kind of chime in, but I'm going to just start coloring basically. And then we can chat about like all the fun things, like, I don't know, maybe anything fun coming out in the fall, Kelly?
There is fun stuff.
Someone's asking if there's going to be a new tiny gift box add-on.
There is. Oh, that's speaking of fall. There is one, and it's very cute. We were just photographing it for the insert card for the die today. It's adorable. Rebecca had made one, and then Miles got a hold of it. So we made another one. And yeah, it's his toy, and it's literally in all his toys at home. And so it's very cute. You guys are gonna love it. It's adorable. It's a really fun one. It's got a little like 3D element to it. You're gonna like
it's a little different.
Yeah, you're gonna like it. It's really cool.
Well, and also parts of it I think will be able to be used doing other things as well, which I think is cool.
True. Okay. Okay. See?
And I know someone earlier was asking who the other voice is. That is Rebecca. She's right over there.
I have makeup on, so she won't be on camera.
Yeah, she has refused to be on camera. But she is commenting over at YouTube, and Shari in North Carolina is commenting over at Facebook. And Rebecca and I happen to be in the same room, so that's why you can hear both of us. And Rebecca is our Lawn Fawn resident New Yorker here. So she was talking to everybody from Long Island there. And you're originally from Queens, but
Queens.
also
Queens and then moved to Long Island. A little bit of both.
yeah. I'm originally from Miami, Florida, and I saw earlier when everyone was saying hello, someone else was from Miami. So hi, fellow Miami person.
So I'm going to do my pinks with the RV21 and the RV10 again.
Someone's asking for an elephant box, and it is not an elephant box because it is themed for fall winter, but I love that idea, especially, so I think that would be very cute.
Carolina would be all about that too.
Oh yeah, we've got someone who's a big elephant fan here in Lawn Fawn. She would love it.
So somebody said very hard to hear me and understand. Sorry, I'll stop talking.
You're right. I say that with love because I'm glad there's someone that talks as much as I do. they put us in this room in the back for a reason here at Long Fawn, because we're a little too loud for them.
Somebody else asked Kelly if there's going to be a new interactive die for the fall release.
There is a new interactive die, and it is really fun. I love it. I'm so excited. We've been playing around with it. We've been working on this one for a long time, kind of gone back and forth. And so I'm excited for this one. I hope you guys are going to love it. And it's one that is really easy to put together and really easy to figure out how to decorate. So that's really cool. And then because I know you guys love add-ons, there might be some add-ons for your guys' favorite new interactive from spring. So I think you're going to like it too. I know.
Somebody's asking if there's more product kits in the future. As of right now, no.
But we would love to do it. I mean, those are so fun. So not planned, but I think it would be fun to do one in the future again.
So I'm going to do my teals on that multicolored inner tube. So I'm going to use BG13 and BG11.
I really like this RV13, RV21 blend. I haven't done those two together before.
Thanks.
It blends like super easy.
Right?
And it's a very happy pink. I like it.
Happy pink.
I gotta like mental note that. That's what I love about this is like it's fun to see what someone else use, what markers they use, and because it gives you new ideas of markers that I had never used either.
Yeah.
There's a couple of questions, Jen, for you. Is there any way to take your classes other than Facebook? Our employer doesn't allow Facebook due to security issues.
So I actually am, there's a possibility. Nothing is set in stone, so nobody, hold me to it. But I think that for my starting in the fall, and this is part of why I need to have some mermaid time this summer, is to like think through things and plan things. But so during my mermaid time, I'm also going to look into possibly doing unlisted YouTube lives for the class. I would still do a Facebook group so people could share their cards in there and chit chat with each other. But those that aren't on Facebook won't miss any of the class content because they would be able to get the handouts from my website and watch the videos on YouTube. Again, still looking into it. But I know that there's been a few people reaching out to me. And honestly, when the pandemic started, I had no idea what I was going to do. So I was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. But now that I kind of have things established, I can start to really look at what the best processes are. So
that's fun. You're looking into that.
Yeah, because I want everybody to be able to take my classes. I'm not trying to exclude anybody. But it's tricky. Technology can be tricky sometimes. I just realized I forgot to color this inner tube the whole time.
And I kept worrying that I was going to color the other one. Like there's one that we're not supposed to touch yet.
I know, right?
Yeah. So it looks like Gina Alvarez, we know from Stamp Fever, a local store here in California. She's also from Queens, Long Island too. Which is awesome. And then there's another Miami and turned Californian here as well. So I think it would be hard to ever go back because I can't do humidity anymore.
Yeah, humidity is interesting.
It looks like a lot of people are very excited about some add-ons. And someone was mentioning Magic Iris. There is a Magic Iris add-on as well. So for fall winter, which is one of my personal favorites. I'm very excited about it.
And Jen, somebody wants to know how many hours do you have in a day that would have to be more than 24?
I know, right? I just honestly need a couple more hours in the day. Chris laughs at me every week because it'll be Sunday night and I'll be like, I think this next week is going to be calmer. And then he sees me running around like crazy and is like, I thought you said this week was going to be calmer. So I get cracking on Christmas live Thursday night. So live on my YouTube channel, we'll be making holiday cards. And then I'm teaching Friday. So I'm trying to get all that stuff ready too. you know, it keeps me out of trouble.
All right, I'm looking for
I
my.
got somebody from Corona, Queens. I was from Bayside, so the other side of Queens, but I was on I used to work on an ambulance that covered Corona sometimes.
So I'm going to do my greens, and I'm going to be using YG05 and YG01. So that's going to be the last stripes on this multicolored, the 3 inner tubes. And then it's going to be the alternating stripes on the inner tube that we've been dying to color, but we've been really good and been avoiding it. So
YGO1 is like one of my favorites. It's so bright and happy. I love it.
I love it too. Oops.
And then somebody was mentioning if the East Coast Fawnies have another class planned.
So Shari and I do not have another class planned as of yet. She's probably giggling at me. She's probably like, thanks guys for getting the idea in her head. But I am sure that we will have another class. I don't 100% know if it's going to be fall, you guys, because I have way too many fun things planned to share with you in the fall. But maybe like a January class.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, since we usually
we have a lot. Yeah, there's so much going on. Even this summer for us, we have a virtual trade show in July.
Yeah, yeah. There's just it's a lot, but maybe hopefully, Shari, mark down January. I have so much fun teaching with Shari because same thing like you, Kelly, is she brought up like some really fun distress ink combos in our birthday bash class because she designed her cards first and then I kind of followed suit with her palette, and that was really fun for me because I use distress all the time, but she kind of broke me out of my like usual color scheme.
I like doing that. I've seen Christina Werner and Jessica Frost Alice will post their distress combos. They're so gorgeous and things I never would have thought of, and I think it's so fun to use those. They're just beautiful.
Yeah, super fun to be inspired by other people and get out of your creative bubble a little bit. I'm thinking I'm done and I still have 2 more inner tubes. Come on, Jen.
I was mentioning that they stopped shop at Stamp Fever too. I love that.
Yay.
That's awesome. Someone is saying if you're really ambitious, you could clear emboss the floats or even put like some of the clear glaze over them. That would be kind of fun.
That would be cute.
There's a question about only cardstock.
Oh, I wish you guys. We're running on like our own personal end of our mermaid stash, but it should be coming in July. Knock on wood, cross your fingers.
Lots of cross fingers.
Yeah, we're hoping. So there's just been delays, with, I mean, you guys hear it all the time, supply chain, but there's just been a lot of issues with paper. So the other exciting thing is that we're also going to be getting pearlescent vellum back soon as well. We're so excited because it's gone for so long. I know we had samples, but it's just beautiful. You guys are going to love it. So we should have that in time for fall, winter, which I love because it's really pretty for snow and things. And we should also have the mermaid. Don't like count on it in July, but if it isn't July, it'll be soon after. But I'm really hoping that July is the case.
Because I'm running out of what I have at home too.
Yeah, we're running on our last stock here. So our secret stash.
And then there's a question, Kelly, have either one of you used colored pencils with Gamsol?
So Shari uses colored pencils with Gamsol way more than me. I have it and I've done it, but I just tend to go to my markers. And I know Shari and I have talked about this. We talked about this in our class. I think she's going to try to use that some more in some upcoming Lawn Fawn videos. So
there are some, maybe both Rebecca and Shari can link some. Shari has done some beautiful coloring in some Lawn Fawn videos with colored pencil and Gamsol. And so we can link those so you guys can be inspired. I think both Jen and I have both done it. We're just not as skilled at it as Shari is, for
Yeah.
example. So we have a tendency to go with our markers. But I love the look of it, and I really need to like invest time into practicing it because it really is gorgeous.
Yeah. So I just did the white stripes of the green and white inner tube. I just did a little shadow with that E41 again, just like we did the beach ball. Again, super cute, Kelly, super cute. And I feel like I was gonna say, I thought I saw a question and I forgot. My questions are kind of bouncing, so anyways, it'll come to my mind again, I'm sure. So we're gonna color our beach towel, our beach blanket, whatever you want to call it. So it is going to be RV21 and RV13. Sorry, I was looking at my coloring guide. I try not to stray from my coloring guide too much. And then it's going to be the R04 and the Y17. So I am just taking the darker color and I'm going to come down from the top and then just swoop along the right side and alternate the stripes, pink and orange, which I'm very proud of myself for not making it teal.
I like the pink and orange.
I do too. I just have to consciously like not make everything teal. You know?
Hi, wait, Libby is coming to Southern California. Hi, Libby.
Yes, she is. Her son, I think, is doing soccer, maybe.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I think
I know.
San Diego area. She was asking people.
Oh, okay, just a little further.
Yeah, a little further south.
Not from San Diego.
Yeah, you can go to Rebecca's house. Hang out with her pups. They're, by the way, active right now. I'm looking at Rebecca's iPad for comments, and she has a camera that alerts her, and her dogs are crazy, and so it's been alerting me that your dogs are active.
Oh, Ken just got home. It's not a person now, so.
Oops. You guys will love it. So Miles, Rebecca has one of those Furbo cameras that like you press it and it shoots a treat out at the dogs. And Miles is obsessed with it. And he watch Murphy and Bodie and shoot treats out at them. And he'll just keep pressing the button to shoot the treats at them. So, wonder, like, they don't know that there's like a 2-year-old that's just like hooking them up with treats.
Yeah.
Right?
They'd be very excited about it.
All right, and then the last quick little thing we're going to do is color our little droplets. I did not die cut these yet because I didn't want to lose them. I don't even know, honestly. I think I forgot to include them in my coloring guide. But I'm personally going to go the simple route. I'm just going to color them all BG11. We did do little droplets in our Berry Rainy Day class. So if you kind of want to see how I did 2-color droplets, you guys can watch that live again. But I'm going to keep it simple because it's good to remind ourselves that that is okay to do, right?
That Berry Rainy Day class is one of my favorites. If you haven't taken it yet.
Mm-hmm. I think this one might be taking over. I really like these parts. The colors of these are great.
Thank you. Well, I think every new class I design is my new favorite. I get so excited.
I know, I can see that.
I get so excited. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to teach this, you know? All right, you guys. Kelly, how are you doing with your coloring? You good?
I actually just finished.
Woohoo!
I'm surprised because I've been chatting, but I did okay. Oh, and Shari is linking in Facebook, linking some colored pencil.
And she's being amazing and texting me the link, so I'm linking them too.
Okay, in YouTube and in Facebook, we'll be linking the color pencil.
Yeah.
Yay!
Which, by the way, that feather one is one of my favorite cards of yours, Shari. I love that one.
She's amazing, and she's literally texting me all the links. 'Cause she's
So
amazing.
we're gonna jump into some watercoloring. I think we're gonna do our watercoloring first because it makes everybody nervous. I just realized I forgot to grab my palette. I'm just gonna grab that real quick. So we're gonna take out our kit for this card right here, the 3 inner tubes.
Is it this?
And I think I put in the handout to have an extra piece of distress watercolor cardstock so you could do some testing, do some playing, do some experimenting. So I have one that's cut out of the outside in stitched rectangle. And then I have just one 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece that I'm going to demo on. And then we will do it together. I know watercoloring makes everybody nervous because they think it has to be like perfect, and it doesn't. So I'm going to share a really fun way for you guys to be able to make this fun, watery background. You guys good over there?
Yeah, I just have to die cut some. I want to die cut my cardstock. Or do you recommend that we die cut it first before we watercolor it?
So this one's just a practice piece, and I don't have it die cut. And then I have another one that already is cut out of a stitched, outside in stitched. So it's, if you're going to practice with me, it does not have to be die cut, but you will want one die cut eventually.
Got it. I'm going to die cut it now.
Okay. So I'm going to use just a simple number 4 round paintbrush. It's nothing fancy. I actually have some of the fancy velvet watercolor brushes and stuff, but I always grab for the simple, my simple, less expensive brushes. And we are going to use some Peacock Feathers regular distress ink. I did put on the handout that you could use distress oxides if you want. The difference between regular distress and distress oxides: regular distress is more translucent. Distress oxides have a pigment property, which is going to make them more opaque. So your outcome will look a little different, but there's nothing wrong with that. And I have a piece of cardstock that I've laminated that I've made into a palette, essentially. I just like having the white cardstock laminated so I can see the color. But you can use your glass mat or a craft sheet, whatever non-porous surface you have. And I'm just going to take my ink pad and press it down and twist. And then I have a cup of water off camera here. So that's there. And I'm going to just take my paintbrush and I'm going to load it up with a good amount of water. And I'm going to just start to draw a circle. And I'm thinking about like the left-hand side of the paper. This is distress watercolor cardstock. I am working on the smooth side. And I've just started to paint a water puddle in a circular shape. Then I'm going to take my paintbrush into the Peacock Feathers Distress ink and just start to move that ink around in that circle that I created. Having the water on your watercolor cardstock first is just going to help your inks move around a little bit easier. So you're not kind of fighting with dry cardstock. Then I'm going to take my paintbrush with water on it, and I'm going to start to draw another circle with water. Don't worry if they touch and ink starts to bleed together. That's totally okay. And same thing, I'm going to go in with an inky paintbrush. And again, I'm going to be doing this all again on my actual stitched rectangle. I'm just kind of showing you guys because I think watercoloring kind of freaks people out sometimes. And so this is just kind of a good warm up.
Hey, Jenna, we have 2 questions.
Yeah.
Number one is if a number 4 round brush is okay.
Yep, that's
And
what
then
I'm
number
using.
2, okay, number 4. And I mean, guys, I'm going to use just whatever I found.
Yeah,
It
just
doesn't even have a number.
yep,
Anything else? Maybe that's a
Here's
9
here's a eight.
or an 8. I
perfect.
don't know. And then if you're using peacock feathers or salvaged patina, is the
I'm
other question.
using peacock feathers.
Okay, I think it was salvage patina on the list. So I'm going to use salvage patina, and that way you'll be able to see the comparison. So depending on what ink you have.
Oh, so on the handout, it should say peacock feathers. On this card, we're using salvage patina, but maybe I made a mistake.
Yeah, it's on this one. That's okay.
Okay,
It's gonna
that's
look
okay.
no matter what.
Yep, it'll look cute either way. Sorry about that, you guys. So again, I'm going to take my wet brush. I'm going to do one more circle. And again, these circles don't need to be all the same size. They should touch. They can run off the edge. And then I'm going to go in with an inky brush and move that color around. So essentially we got these 3 circles that, again, they're all different, and that's perfect. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a very wet brush that has my ink on it. And I'm going to just start to change the shape of my circles. So they look a little bit more puddly and a little less like circles. And there's no right or wrong way of doing this. It's just adding some different formation off of your circle so that they just don't look so perfectly like circles.
And somebody was mentioning that that salvage patina was on the handout. It's okay. Either color is going to look beautiful, and I'm going to do mine when Jen does the second round, and I'll do the salvage patina, and we can hold them up and compare them so you guys can see. And then someone else is asking how often we do the lives. And we do them with releases. So this is for the summer release, which was May 19th. We always like to do it a couple of weeks after so that people have time to get the product in their hands. And sometimes for our larger releases, which happen in February and at the end of August, sometimes we'll do 2 classes. So I have a feeling we're going to end up doing 2 for fall, winter, Jen. I know we haven't chatted about it yet, but I'm guessing that.
Probably.
Love Create with us, there may just be a surprise one in the summer sometime too. So you'll have to keep an eye out for that. Make sure you're signed up for our email newsletter because we'll always send email newsletters about it. And we'll also, of course, post it on the blog and social media too.
Yeah. And just so you know, once you've made those odd shapes off of your circle, you can just go in with a wet brush and kind of like smooth out any lines. Distress inks are going to react with water, so that's going to kind of give you some fun watermarks as well. And you can just start to like really play with however you want your 3 little puddles or pools to look. Like it's, again, there's no right or wrong way. All right. So hopefully that kind of takes your fear away from watercoloring. So now I'm going to get out my stitched rectangle. So this is the largest outside in stitched rectangle. And again, I die cut it on the smooth side of the Distress watercolor cardstock. And we are going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to stick with peacock feathers just because that's what I started with. But I think you're right. On my sample too, I even did salvage patina.
And I wanted to mention really quick, if you guys wanted to make a palette, if I forgot I had this and it was in my drawer, this is just a piece of white cardstock inside of die packaging. So it's a nice way to upcycle your packaging, and you always have a palette ready. And I've had this for years and years and can still use it.
Perfect. So I'm going on to my cardstock, my watercolor cardstock with a wet brush. And I know you guys can't see this part and it's hard, to be able to see that I have water on my paper, but I'm being fairly generous with my water. I can tell you, like, you'd have to like pour water onto your paper for it to be too much. So the wetter, the better. Then I'm going to go in with a wet brush into my ink, pick up ink, and then just start to move that ink around into the existing water that I have. I'm going to go to my second circle. I like my circles to kind of touch, which will make some of the ink start to bleed, which is totally okay. And then I'll go ahead and do my third circle. And they don't have to be in a straight line. I'm going to kind of put this one a little bit lower.
I wanted to show you guys mine with the Salvia patina so far.
Ooh,
and
so
I kind
pretty.
of messed my circles where like the one over here is a little bit smaller, but that's okay. I think it looks cool.
That's totally okay. Or you can always add to it. And now I'm going to start to go in and make my shapes a little bit less circle-like.
And somebody has a really great question, Jen. I think you're going to love to answer. It says, is it okay to mix it up and create different cards with these techniques and vary the products and colors? Or do we need to do the class projects first?
Oh my gosh, please do whatever you want. If all that's happened tonight is you're allowing yourself to have some creative time and, you know, maybe you're avoiding some other chores and you just want to hang out with us. Maybe you're making Christmas cards. Honestly, I think Kelly will agree. Maybe you're using a different brand of products. We don't care. We just want you guys to create and allow yourself some time to do what you love to do. That is our goal with these. So please switch it up. And, you know, if you do kind of follow the cards a little bit, but maybe you use different supplies or you followed them completely, we love to see what you create. You guys can use the hashtag LF Create With Us, which is at the bottom of the screen. We just want you guys to have fun and hang out with us. We started doing these because Kelly and I were lucky before the pandemic. We would see each other a few times throughout the year. I help Kelly teach at the trade shows and help out in the booths. But then when obviously all of that started becoming virtual, we really just missed hanging out with each other. So we decided to do these so that we could get together and create. And we just decided to invite all of our closest friends, and that's you guys. So
yes, for sure. And really, that's why we call this Create With Us, because we really just mean that. Create anything your heart desires. Even I'm tired tonight. It was a long day at work. Just hang out, maybe get crafty a different day. We are just thrilled to have you here with us. And that's what this is all about, is just having community with other people who love the same thing as you do. I know for me, a long time, I didn't know anyone that also liked to make cards. You know, so finding people online that also liked my same hobby was so fun.
So I'm just using my Ranger heat tool, and I am just going to dry my watercolor cardstock. If you're using an embossing gun, just be careful not to scorch your paper. An embossing gun can kind of add brown marks to your paper by scorching it. The Ranger heat tool is a diffused heat, so I can keep this heat tool right on this paper for a very, very long time, and it's not going to change the color of the paper at all, which I love. You guys might have saw it started to curl up on me, but now it's starting to flatten back out. And I'm just going to get this somewhat dry. It's okay if it's not crispy dry.
Yeah, and mine, Rebecca's actually being so kind and drying mine off camera because I have the more traditional, very loud heat gun. So we already have, embossing gun. So we already have sound issues. I didn't want to add more to the equation. But I sometimes when my paper warps from that, because it is a hotter heat than the one Jen has, I'll heat it from the other side and it sort of warps it in the other direction, which always helps.
Perfect. And what I'm going to do is take the little splash drops from this set, the 2 little splashes, and I'm going to add them to a small acrylic block. And I'm going to actually stamp some of them with the peacock feathers. Now, regular Distress ink isn't always the best ink to use for stamping per se, but we're going to actually utilize it in the fact that it reacts with water. We're going to actually watercolor these droplets so they look a little bit more organic. So that's why I wanted to stamp them in this, so that they'll react to the water and look super cute. It looks like I put one right on the left side of my sentiment. So I'm actually going to quickly jump in and stamp my sentiment as well, so that we can have some good placement of our droplets. So I'm going to use my Misty for that. I often use blocks for sentiments when I'm crafting on my own, but on live video, I've learned to not trust myself as much.
And I'm going to do the same, even though I'm also very much a block user. In this case, I'm going to do that too, because my paper is a little warped, and
well, that too, yeah,
I'm a little worried.
I am a Misty user.
Yes, Rebecca. You know what's funny is I'm very type A most of the time, but this is one of the times where I'm not. I just you know what? I just need to stamp it quick. And
I think it also depends on how many years of wood-mounted stamps you used.
You're more willing. So true.
I mean, that's how I started with wood mounted from the unknown company, the unnamed company. We all
Okay.
started with. But yeah, just once I discovered a Misty, I feel like my hand shakes a lot.
That's just your personality too, I think, you know.
So what's great about Lawn Fawn sentiment stamps is I'm stamping Have a Relaxing Birthday, and they were all separate sentiments, but because the sentiments are cut into like a block form, it's really easy to like have them just line up next to each other, kind of butt up against each other, and it's automatically like the perfect spacing between the words, which I'm a graphic designer. Typography is really big for me, so I love that I don't have to worry about the spacing not being correct.
Yes, and our alphabets are the same way. I'm actually going to grab one to show you guys, because they are so cool. And let me find. Wait, are the alphabets separate still?
They
Yes.
were, yes.
And
All
at
right.
the top of my card, I'm going to stamp Just Floating By to Say, which is all one sentiment. So that works out well.
Okay, so this is a very, very well loved stamp. It is my original one. And this is Quinn's ABCs. It's an older set. You can see it's just stained because I've used it so much. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's one of my favorites, and I know
I love that one.
And so this is one where I want to show you how the letters line up. So, for example, I'm going to grab a block.
I'm going to actually put you fully on screen, Kelly, just so they'll be able to see you better.
All right. So I'm going to put one letter on the block. And of course, you could use your Misty as well. These blocks have etched lines into them, so it's kind of nice because it has that guide. And then here I'm going to take the next letter, and you'll see, sorry, I did it backwards. You'll see that it's going to butt up against it. You see how that's kind of the exact same size rectangle there? So all I need to do is just add that one next to it, and it's perfectly spaced, just like that. So I love that it works that way. I want to show you a different letter. So let's say an F in this case. Although it's taller, the bottoms are still going to line up. So I'm going to add my F. And then I can add my A, butt it right up against it, and it's going to be perfectly spaced. Then I could take my W and line that one right up. So you see I'm trying to help on. This isn't a big, it's not a big enough block, but you see I'm just going to line it right up against it, butt it up right against it. And now that's going to be perfectly spaced out.
That's awesome.
It's really, really cool. So that happens to be a large alphabet because I just wanted you guys to be able to see it. But we have smaller alphabets that work the same way. And a lot of the smaller alphabets, the bases are all the exact same size, so you don't even have to worry about like lining up the bottoms. And it makes it really, really easy and fun to personalize things. My favorite way to use Quinn's ABCs is actually to personalize envelopes. I just think it's so cute. It's so fun, and you can color in the letters, or I cut them from pattern paper. It's just fun, and I just love this. And this was the font designed by Erica. I know you guys were asking about Erica earlier, and so all those original Lawn Fawn sets were fonts made by Erica. So it's kind of fun.
I love them. Yes, it is still available. Go buy
I linked it.
it.
Yeah.
And then 2 questions. Somebody wants to know, I lost them. Oh, how often, what's the schedule of the Create With Us? Which I know we went over, but if you could.
Yeah, so people are asking what the schedule of the Create With Us is. And Create With Us is related to releases. So this one is related to our May 19th release. They're usually a few weeks after, because we want to give you time to be able to get all your products and all your things together, do your homework, etc. So we have these ones scheduled for those. For the larger releases, we've been doing 2 classes. And then for the smaller releases, like this last summer one, which ended up being bigger than usual, but that one we just did the 1 class. So you'll kind of have to just keep an eye out, and we'll always give the information about the Create With Us when the release is live. That being said, we are going to have a special Create With Us in the summer, because we have something kind of fun, a little extra thing coming out June 29th.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
And Lawn Fawn does really good. Like, they post on their social media, they send emails out, but I also post on my social media about stuff and try to remind you guys. So you can follow me everywhere. And then also do my email newsletter on my website, shirkus.com, as well. So then that way you kind of get all the reminders so that you don't miss anything. So now that we have our sentiments stamped, I am just taking a wet brush, but you don't want it to be drippy because you don't want it to kind of blob out on your project. But what I'm doing is I'm just adding water to those droplets. And because we use Distress ink, it's pulling the color from the stamped line into the center and filling those in with a little bit of color. And it's going to be a little lighter than your stamped line, but it looks really cool. Makes it have this nice little water effect because the Distress inks are reacting with the water. And it's just a fun way to get those droplets to look like real droplets.
This is fun. I've never done this before, like stamping and then...
Yay!
Oh, I added too much water. That's okay. It's water, so more water's
That's
okay.
Blot it. You're good.
Now, Jen, mine isn't blending out quite as much as yours is.
Well, because your color is lighter because you use the Salvage Patina. So if you feel you want your droplets to be darker, you could pick up some of the color from your palette and add that in as well if you would like.
Oh, got it. That's a good idea.
It's because your color is lighter. So,
And I know we were talking about things lining up in the alphabets. All of our sentiments are like that, which is why we love doing mix and match sentiments on our blocks, because, or on our stanzas, excuse me, because it gives you so many more opportunities to fill in like different pens or different cute things depending on the cards you're making. So whenever you see our stamp sets and you see those sentiments with those square bases on the back, you know that you can line them up. You could also mix and match from different sets together as well. So that's really exciting and really awesome.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of the order. Let's just stick with this card, actually. So now we're just going to set this aside for a little bit, and we are going to glitter all the things for this card. So I'm going to take off my 3 multicolored inner tubes. Gently off my tape, because mine live on the tape for a long time.
I'm going to answer a couple questions while you're getting that stuff together. Jen. Somebody was commenting there that they're asking if any Facebook Lawn Fawn addicts were in the group. So if any people belong to the Facebook group, you guys can always comment there, and which is awesome. Hello, guys. And people really appreciated seeing the watercolor technique twice. And somebody just bought Harold's ABCs, which is our original alphabet set. And I love that you bought it because it's I know I say they're all my favorite ones, but it's one of my favorite ones too. I just love that one. And someone else saying that from a design perspective, really appreciate being able to line these things up. So I just love that. And someone else asking if there's more mice this fall. You're going to be very, very happy this fall, Tina. There are definitely more mice.
So now I'm going to be glittering all of the things. I'm going to use the Sakura Quickie glue pen and the Lawn Fawn Prisma glitter. And it's like my motto in life to have everybody glitter everything, but also feel like they can be clean glitterers. So I have 2 containers of the Lawn Fawn Prisma glitter in like a sandwich container. You want to have it in a container that is a little bit larger so that there's less apt of it spilling out. These are the Deco sandwich containers, but you could use a Ziploc sandwich container, whatever works. And I'm going to take the Quickie glue pen, and what I like about this glue pen is you can be really fine detail with it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you guys. And I'm going to take the Quickie glue pen and I'm just going to kind of draw some lines where we did the shadow of the Copic markers. And I know you're not going to be able to see, but stick with me. I'm going to go halfway around. And then I'm going to take my inner tube and I'm just going to dip it in the glitter, straight in, straight out. I'm not touching my hand to the glitter. And I take the Quickie glue pen and I'm just going to tap the edge of the cardstock. And that's going to get all of the extra static electricity off of the paper. But you can see that awesome sparkle. And now I'm going to do the other part of the inner tube. I use my fingers, but you could use tweezers as well. And what's great about the Quickie glue pen is once that glitter is on there, it's pretty much dry. If you pressed hard, it would, wipe off, but you could flip this over and start putting your foam squares on there, and it's not going to smear like if you were using stickles. And so I'm going to do this to all 3 of these inner tubes. Just add a little bit of sparkle. You guys know it's very rare that I do a class without something glittered.
Sometimes don't bring out the glitter because then it's hard to get away from where we film. But I really like the glitter on the inner part of the.
It's going to be stuck to everything.
And I want to answer a couple questions while we're glittering all the things. That they love the 3 mosaics back here. So my beautiful friend Deb made these. It's actually all the Lawn Fawn papers from the first 10 years of Lawn Fawn. She cut down little squares of them and put them in IKEA frames. So it's totally something that you could do and a really cool way to use up scraps. Do like some DIY, get your Pinterest on. So just IKEA frames, inexpensive. And then she took, the cardboard piece that's in there, like on the back, and she just glued them to the back. So she cut little, I don't know if they're 1-inch squares or 2-inch. They're 2-inch squares, and just added them to the papers, and that's how she was able to get it. So you could go through all your stash of pattern papers. We all have them, right? And find the colors and create a cute rainbow. Or, for example, like if you had a color palette in your house, you could use that color palette and create a mosaic of just those colors, the blues and greens together. So it's a really fun DIY project.
Perfect. So that's all we're going to glitter for this card. So we'll kind of work on some of our assembly. So I have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of Peacock Lawn Fawn cardstock, which I'm going to attach my stitched rectangle to. And it gives that nice little border. Looks like I did pop it up. So I'm going to use some foam tape.
And then someone says they're watching, they're crafting with Lawn Fawn and Trinity stamps and making Mother's Day handout for her coworkers. I love that. That's amazing.
Friendly store, by the way, which I haven't had in years. Ice cream parlor.
And it looked like somebody was asking about signing up for the newsletter. If you go to the bottom of our website, I know someone linked that there. You can sign up there and get. We don't send a ton of newsletters. We just try to give you updates on events or releases and things like that. And you guys are so sweet. Someone put 4 jars of glitter in their container, and they are not sorry. And I love that.
Oh, I say I have 2, but I might have a little bit more because sometimes I've poured some like class glitters in there. But if you start with 2, you're a good start. Like, because people always ask me how many they should buy. I mean, buy more if you want, but 2 will be a good start.
Ours at Lawn Fawn is when they break the container in the back, we get the broken. I will say at one time there was a box drop, an unfortunate box drop in our warehouse, and there was glitter. Speaking of glittering all the things, there was glitter everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
The containers exploded. It was crazy.
That would have been like my best day ever, I think.
No, you could have done the I call it like the Scrooge McDuck, you know, he like swims through the lanes.
Oh my gosh. That would have been so fun. Not gonna lie. Okay, so now we have our 3 inner tubes, and we are gonna add Mr. Harley to one of them. We're gonna add the llama to one of them, and we're gonna add one of our sloths. So I'm just gonna use the Lawn Fawn glue tube and just a little bit of glue behind them, and then stick them onto those inner tubes.
And I do want to mention, people are asking if you can watch this later, and you definitely can. You can find it on our Facebook page. We will also eventually link it on the Lawn Fawn Create With Us page, which is the page where you download the handout. And so not only could you see the one from today, but we also have all the previous ones, both the handouts and the lives linked there. So that's a nice place, to just like a central location to go, and you can just click direct the link. But we won't be able to add that until later because we have to wait until it gets processed by Facebook and all that kind of stuff. Oh yes, and also on the YouTube page, excuse me, Facebook and YouTube. Yeah. And we'll link both in the Create With Us page.
And I'm just going to add a foam square behind each of these inner tubes. And then I'm going to start to add them to the card.
Me a glue tube.
Can you pass me one too, Rebecca? I'm almost out.
The tubes all end up in one mug, and they're always on Becca's side around here. So,
then in the stamp set, we have the little waves. There's like a short one and a long one. So something that I do often is I kind of put one on one side of an acrylic block and the other on the other side, so that I can kind of quickly stamp with both. And I'm going to use that Peacock Feathers ink again. And I'm going to just add some little waves here and there. There's no right or wrong place to adding them. Just another little accent. If your cardstock is still damp, I would wait and do this step later, because they will kind of start to bleed with the, with the damp water. But I am kind of stamping and then turning my block over to use the other stamp. And that's why I like to kind of put 2 on one block.
Oh, someone's saying they're going to use action wobblers. How fun is that?
Oh, that would be really cute.
Right?
And I also, someone was noting, I may have been a little confusing about how I talked about it. The Create With Us page is on lawnfawn.com, and it's been linked in the comments. The videos are hosted on either Facebook or YouTube, but on the Create With Us page, we'll link to both of those options.
And then the last little thing we're going to do on this card is our two little things. Sorry. We've got a speech bubble and we've got some sunglasses. So I'm going to add my sunglasses to the llama. A little bit of glue tube. Which, if that doesn't make you smile after a long day, I don't know what will.
I love the sunglasses. And you can use like the sunglasses and the snorkel from this set on other critters too. And it looks really, really cute.
And then in the stamp set, there's a lot of little images. Happy summer, stay cool, happy B-day, relax, hello, zzz, like sleeping. So you can choose whichever small sentiment you would like. And we're going to stamp that in the speech bubble. I'm going to use stay cool. And just stamp that with some black ink. And then I'm going to add that to my card with a little foam square. And I like to kind of go off the white triangle edge of the card, like onto the teal a little bit, just to kind of break that frame. Kind of makes it look a little cute. And then we have our first completed card. So cute.
Large foam squares. All right. Someone said that they love the new large glue tube. Do you have it on your side, Rebecca? Rebecca and I share our supplies.
I've got mine right here.
Here's the large one, and then here's the original. So it's definitely like a personal preference thing. I like them both. They're awesome. So I love those. And then someone was asking where the name Lawn Fawn came from. I know some of you guys know, but I might as well tell our story while we get out supplies. Or Jen, actually, you talk about your glaze.
I just wanted to quickly say, if you have a black glaze pen, we have used this a couple times in previous Create With Us's, and I use them in my classes as well. But if you have a Sakura black glaze pen, that's something really fun that you can just add to the sunglasses. It's going to kind of make them look really shiny black and give a little bit of dimension and just give a different look to them. So it takes a minute to dry, so just be careful that you don't run your hand over it. But hopefully, yeah, you can see I'm catching it in the light. You can see that little bit of shine on those sunglasses. Just something fun, very inexpensive embellishment. Go for it, Kelly.
All right, so Lawn Fawn, I might as well bring out the original. What? Give me a second. Bring my show and tell.
And while Kelly's grabbing her show and tell, you guys can get out the kit for the next card.
Okay, so this is Francois the Lawn Fawn. And that is what Lawn Fawn is named after, is this plastic lawn deer ornament. So I was telling you guys earlier how Erica, Mike, and I, that we're the three owners of Lawn Fawn, we all met doing musicals in college. We played in the orchestra pit. All three of us at one point conducted, but Erica is an incredible flautist, and I played percussion, and Mike played saxophone and conducted. And that's where we first met. Well, I love deer. I don't know why. Since I was a little girl, I had imaginary pet deer. I used to ride my bikes to see deer with my dad. I just think they're just beautiful creatures. I love them. So my brother, as a joke for my 21st birthday, gave me this like cheesy, he used to light up lawn ornament deer. And so we used to put him in the orchestra pits for good luck, and we light him up in the center of the orchestra pits. So much so that we went to UC San Diego. They wanted to keep him because he became like a mascot, but I didn't let them keep him because he's my good luck charm. And then we started the company 10 years later, and we just thought, since he was our good luck charm and kind of where we all met, it would be a cute name for the company. So this is Francois the Lawn Fawn, and he's our name date holder character for the company. So I'm going to put him back here so he can watch over us. He hangs out in all sorts of different areas of the office.
So fun. So fun.
Everybody.
Someone was
I
asking who Francois was if he was hanging in the pool.
think he
A
was.
little dusty.
We
He had
just
some
took him out.
instruction.
We just took him out of the pool.
Yeah.
Somebody just mentioned where they can find me. If you do download the Create With Us handout, my website is linked on there. It's shurkus.com, shurkus.com. And you can find me everywhere as Jen Shurkus, Jen with 2 N's. So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the things. All right. So we have our second kit out. And we have a piece of watercolor cardstock, 4¼ by 5½ watercolor cardstock. And then we have a piece of 4¼ by 5½ distress white heavy stock, or whatever you like to ink blend on. So I'm going to set aside the ink blended piece and work with the watercolor cardstock first. And I'm going to have Kelly is going to have to help me with names of supplies again, because, I don't do the trade shows anymore. But we're going to use our new stencil.
Sunray background stencil.
Thank you, Kelly. And whenever I'm stenciling, I like to use the Wendy Vecchi station. So you guys are going to want that nearby if that's what you like to use when you stencil. And the first thing that we are going to do is use Salvage Patina Distress ink, and I'm going to ink blend like the top half of this Distress watercolor cardstock.
Are we watercoloring again in this card, Jen, or are we just ink blending?
We are not watercoloring, but we're doing a wet technique, so that's why we're using watercolor cardstock.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and just start to ink blend. Like I said, we only need like a half of this because most of it's going to get covered by our waves.
Yeah.
And you want to be fairly generous with your inking so it's nice and bright for this technique to show up more. So I use the Salvage Patina. You could use peacock feathers if you want, but we are going to use peacock feathers later for our waves. So I kind of wanted things to look a little different. That came out so cute.
I finally finished my card. I wanted to show you the Salvage Patina. Just a lighter look. Both are gorgeous.
So cute.
Okay. And then I saw somebody talking about the School Ransom Everglades. You guys are giving me like flashbacks. That's crazy. If anyone's from Miami, I went to St. Phillips when I was there in elementary school. That's so funny. People were talking about like local schools in Miami.
That's so funny. So what I'm going to do now that I have this ink blended, again, about halfway down, I'm going to take the Sunray stencil, or Sunray, right, Kelly? Yeah.
Yes.
I want to say Starburst for some reason.
Oh, and someone's mom loved deer as well. And so she keeps deer to remind her of them. I love that. I think your mom and I would have been fast friends.
Aw. So this is my piece of blending foam that we used in Very Rainy Day. So I'm keeping it because we're going to do a very similar technique to what we did in Very Rainy Day, where we're going to use the Lawn Fawn Liquid Stardust. See, it comes in a little bottle like this. It's a very, very concentrated shimmer, liquid shimmer. I'm shaking it up. Yeah.
And just for the people who might be catching up like I am, are we using Salvage Patina or peacock feathers?
I use Salvage Patina in the sky because our waves are going to be peacock feathers.
Okay.
So I'm going to take the liquid stardust and I'm going to put a few drops on my table. My table is made out of glass, so you could use your palette if you wanted as well.
We don't have the thing.
A brush?
Yeah.
You should.
No.
And I'm going to take my wet paintbrush, whoops, and just add some drops, a couple drops of water. You could use a sprayer if you have a sprayer, just to get some water into the liquid stardust.
Round foam or regular foam?
And now I have my ink blending foam with a clean piece of foam or the foam that we used from Very Rainy Days. Either works. And the trick of this is you don't want a ton of water. So you want to kind of be fairly conservative at first. I'm kind of touching my blending tool to the edge of the pool of shimmer. I'm not sticking my tool right in it. And then you guys want to wipe. You don't want to do circular like blending motions because your stencil's going to kind of move. So I'm just wiping in the same direction as the rays. And because Distress inks react with water, the stripes are going to lighten, and hopefully there's going to be a little bit of shimmer left behind from the liquid stardust. So we did this with a similar technique with the raindrop stencil in Very Rainy Days. So I try to keep in mind of the supplies that we've used in previous classes and kind of give you even more ideas. So I'm wiping. And then when I reveal and move my stencil, you guys will see the rays. Look at that. And you can see the shimmer as well. How cool is that?
That is so pretty.
Right? Simple, subtle, but fun. And we're going to go ahead and just set that aside and let that dry.
There's another question about the long get together again someday. Possibly, maybe.
Yes, I hope so one day.
Dawn, hopefully one day we will be doing the get together again. That is the hope.
It's very hard, as Jen knows, to plan an in-person event nowadays.
Yes, it is. Very hard. So then the other thing that we're going to do, and I know some of you are still working on your wet technique, but I just wanted to explain and then we can kind of chit chat. On your other piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, mine is Distress White Heavy Stock or whatever you like to ink blend on. We are just going to ink blend peacock feathers. Simple, simple. And then you have your little beach that you cut out of craft cardstock using the stitched hillside die kind of at an angle. I'm just going to ink the edges of that with Vintage Photo. And we're making this cute little beach off the edge of the water. And I have to give a shout out to Shari because I saw she did this. And I was like, oh, I am borrowing that idea for my Create With Us class. And she's like, of course you can, because she's the nicest. Ooh, so pretty, Kelly.
And I have a little bit of like heavy inking towards the top, but I don't know.
That's okay. You could always trim it down later if it's bothering you, but
Yeah, because we're going to layer on top anyways.
yeah, you could flip it. But I'm going to start by ink blending my peacock feathers. I'm going to get my evening workout in.
This counts as a workout.
Things are falling off of my crafty cart as I speak.
Oh no. Oh, maybe she ink blends and then die cut.
Do you ink blend and then die cut, or do you
I
die
am.
cut and then ink?
I am, because you have less chance of ripping your cardstock because there's so many little things. And I actually like how the ink gets into the grooves. But it's completely up to you.
So you're inking and then die cutting.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't want to rip it. So
Yes.
in my Creative Journey Art Retreat, the weekend before, I provided kits for those. So everybody got this background die cut for them already because not everybody had the die, but we had to be really careful ink blending it. And again, we don't have to do the whole panel because we are going to end up cutting some of our waves away.
Oh, what's this one?
I just saw Sharna's comment that she was missing her station, her make art station, and then she found it magneted to the side of her cart the other day. It's something I would do. And then our little beach, I'm just adding a little vintage photo to the edges.
Somebody's asking if this is watercolor cardstock or regular cardstock.
So what we did with the sun rays is on distress watercolor cardstock because we did a wet technique with water. And then just the peacock feathers is just, I use distress white heavy stock, but it's whatever you like to ink blend on.
I'm just doing some normal cardstock for ink blending because that's what I had here. So whatever you've got.
Yep.
People are saying they like the sweatshirt, and I know we really want to be able to offer these, but there's just been some we haven't been able to get sweatshirts, so that's what we're hopefully.
We were like all ready to do it and order them, and then the warehouse was shut down for 3 weeks. So that put us behind a little bit. They are still in the process now.
Yes.
Once you get your peacock feathers ink blended, you're going to then go ahead and die cut your stitched backdrop. Again, I didn't want us to accidentally rip it. I go really kind of crazy when I'm ink blending. I get all of my aggressions out. And if you didn't ink blend the whole thing, you're going to want to put your white part at the smallest waves.
There we go. Okay.
This is me putting my vintage photo brush into my peacock feathers. This is
Good job. Good job,
Big
Kelly. We all do it.
Yeah, we're just that's okay.
We all do it.
Okay.
So I'm going to stop for a minute because I don't want anybody to feel like they're overwhelmed, but this is what I've got. This is what we just did. Looks kind of messy. Doesn't look cute yet, but we're going to make it cute.
All right. I'm almost caught up to you, Jen.
No worries, Kelly.
See where everyone else is at too.
I bet other people need some catch up time when we get into kind of different techniques like that.
Yeah, I guess.
My dad is calling me.
Aw. Oh, sometimes he's watching.
I know. This is the one night I didn't tell him because it's a weeknight and I knew we would be on pretty late. Actually, I can't believe it's 9 o'clock and he's calling me.
Yeah, does he get up really early?
If I don't know if Chris can hear me, but I just hope nothing's wrong.
Oh, do you want to just take a break and
Oh,
give him a call?
no, because my phone is my hands.
Oh, that's, yeah.
I just sent Chris a message, so it's all good. I'm sure he just wants to chat about the weekend.
You gonna see him for Father's Day?
Yeah, he's coming down Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And Sunday, we're going to be in a really big antique car show here on Cape Cod. So he's bringing down, he has a 1987 Caballero, which is a GMC version of an El Camino, but it's even more rare. So yeah.
Some people are asking about your mini die cut machine, Jen.
Oh, I didn't use a mini die cut machine just now because I cut a big background. That was the Jane Davenport Spellbinders. But my mini die cut machine, I either use the Altenew Blossom machine, or Libby from Hero Arts was nice enough to send me the Hero Arts one. So I have been using that one as well, and I like it. All right. You feeling good, Kelly?
I'm feeling good. I'm not about my mess that I have, about my heart.
Don't worry about the mess. We're just going to have 2 cute cards. That's all that matters. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my water background and I am going to cut. I'm making sure I say the right number. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I only want 4 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to cut the first 2 off. Just by snipping, you can kind of see where the wave stops right at the stitching. I think this is kind of fun to remember that we can alter our backgrounds. And then we're going to go ahead and attach that to our sky that we did. I'm going to use my Big Mama.
I'm going to do some card surgery on that weird inking I have at the top.
I was going to say, you could, well, I'll let you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to, you know. Ah, perfect. Now I like it. Well, because then now I know how.
I never would have thought of that. It would have screwed the whole thing up.
Yeah.
All right. Then, once we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and attach my beach.
Yay, fixed it.
And then I'm going to start to peel my critters off of the tape and all my other little doodads. Since we know these guys are all going on this one. All right. And I'm going to add my sloth to the beach towel with a little glue tube.
And someone, I know that Shari answered it in the comments, but I just want to answer it out loud because sometimes their backdrops might not cut through. Any tips? I have 2 tips. One of them is Shari mentioned, which is you can run it through in one direction and then just rotate it 90 degrees and run it through the other direction. And the reason this might happen is your machine may not have enough pressure. It might be a really detailed die cut. The other thing you can do is take your die and just run it through at a slight angle. So do you see how I have it at straight and then now I'm kind of at a little bit of an angle? That will even the pressure out across the whole die and cut it better. So whenever you put like these rectangular dies, backdrops, even a stitched rectangle, just turn it just a little bit and you'll get really nice even pressure. It's also easier to crank your machine that way too. So that's a really good tip as well. Yes, or you can also do cardstock shim. So you can just shove another piece of cardstock on top of your whole sandwich and add a little more pressure that way. Every machine is slightly different. We have lots of machines, lots of brands, lots of the same brand here. Every single one is different. Not a single one is the same. So
right.
You kind of learn the quirks of your machine and you'll figure out the best way. So hopefully those tips help.
Awesome. Then I'm going to go ahead and add the unicorn to the inner tube. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle to his horn. So I'm going to use my Quickie glue pen, fill in his horn, and then just dip it in that Prisma glitter. And then I'll add him onto my card with some foam squares. I did add the sloth with a foam square too, you guys, when Kelly was answering questions. Because we're going to be tucking the beach ball under there and the flip-flop. So just keep that in mind.
Oh, a lot of people show their vintage cards as well, so that's pretty cool.
Yay. I'm going to add the little scuba mask to Mr. Harley, the kitty. Which I know we lose his rosy cheeks, but sometimes it's just fun to put those rosy cheeks on there. And so what I did with Mr. Harley is I actually put a foam square behind his head. Okay, so it's just like this, just a little foam square right behind his head. And I'm going to tuck him behind the wave. And if you have Dot Runner in the way, you can always trim some of his legs off, which I'm going to do right now. Don't worry. He won't know. And then I'm going to peel that foam square off. So his head is kind of raised up, but he's beneath the wave. It's just kind of a fun, different way to add dimension to the card where he's kind of going at an angle instead of flat.
And that's why I love this backup die, is because you can tuck your critters in. And we're doing an intro video for this soon, and Shari has made 2 beautiful cards for it. An ocean theme like this, but she also used it as dirt for a garden. So you guys will see how she did that soon. It's really, really cool. So I love that we're using it now, and you'll get to see it in the intro video in a couple of days too.
Yay. For the flip-flops, I'm going to add a little bit of Prisma glitter to the thong part. So I'm just filling that in. I'm going to dip it in the glitter. And then I'm going to use a little glue tube to add that to my card down by the beach towel. And then the beach ball, I'm going to add as well, flat, kind of tucked under the beach towel a little bit. Again, we have another little speech bubble, so we get to choose what we want this one to say. I did hello. And I'm just going to stamp that in black ink. I hear Chris talking to my dad, so all is well. He would have.
Glad to know.
Yeah, I get nervous because he's not usually up this late, although he did start like a new job, and he's not being worked as hard as his old job, so he's actually like more rested. So
I'm so glad. I know I've never met Jimbo, but I feel like I know him after all these years. So
maybe someday.
I love that.
Then I had you guys cut 2 sentiment banners. And so what I did is in Lawn Fawn Merman ink, I stamped Take It Slow. And then in Lawn Fawn Carrot ink, I stamped Happy Summer. So a teal and an orange. Again, you can stamp whatever sentiments you would like and use whatever ink colors you would like.
All right.
And I'm doing it True Jen style. I'm just...
Carrot's better orange for this, but it would have been fun if you used fake tan.
I know, right? Fake tan's so fun. That was like one of the first colors that came out.
I know. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite of all the ink color names. I mean, we're in Orange County. You obviously have to have a fake tan.
Right?
Yeah. You can get the banner done.
That's what I'm.
So again, you guys, our sentiments line up. So I'm just actually lining them up on my table with the exclamation point, and then I'm going to pick it up with an acrylic block. That exclamation point is tricky. It always moves on me. So once I get the other ones in place, I usually peel it off and just replace it on the block. It's just such a small little stamp.
I don't know. You have to check my card.
Oh, sorry.
And take it slow. You should be stamping towards the right side of the banner, and happy summer, you should be stamping towards the left side of the banner, because we are going to have them go off the edge of our cards. And I used foam squares. Oops. I'm throwing my banner on the floor.
I know I've got mess in here.
Yeah.
I just heard Rebecca go, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the one that's going to have to clean it.
Well, and we had to move out of this room a little bit for a little construction that had to happen here. So we're still kind of moving back. It's been a little chaotic. We don't know where anything is still. I put the ink in the wrong color, but stamp shame to the rescue. Yeah, so it's still a bit of chaos, and we're still kind of finding even our cameras. Like we're still trying to find the proper placement because we had to move the entire desk and everything. So we're having to like kind of redo things here. But we don't have holes in our ceiling anymore, so you know.
Oh, that's so cool, Maureen. I just saw that your husband has a 1970 El Camino. So one more quick little story about my dad while I'm letting people catch up. So his is not an El Camino, but it literally looks just like it. It's the GMC version. So the first car show that I went to with my dad, you set up your little chair and you sit there and people walk by and check out your car, and some people stop and talk to you. But I heard everybody like walking by and muttering like, oh, look at the El Camino. Look at the El Camino. Oh, look at that El Camino. And I'm like, it's not an El Camino. I was like so frustrated. So I made my dad a big sign actually on Lawn Fawn sunflower cardstock. It says, I am not an El Camino. So now when my dad goes to car shows, everybody stops and asks him, well, what is it? And then he gets to have like this conversation with everybody, and every car show he calls me, everybody loved your sign, Jen. And he's like, my daughter made it. And it's just so funny. So that's my last Jimbo story of the night. So now I'm going to trim the ends off of my banners. So I just flip my card over and just trim those right off.
Oh, so someone's asking, what is the extra sentiment banner set and how is it different? So there's the everyday sentiment banner set, which has a ton of banners. And then the extra one has like, it's extra, it's got the really small and the really big. And then this one has your more general ones. So if you were kind of looking at a banner set and wondering which one to get, I would definitely start with the everyday one. Because this one has your everything you need for different Lawn Fawn size sentiments, or really probably a lot of different sentiments you may have. But this one's kind of fun because it does have the longer and the short skinny one as well. So that's the difference between
all the banners.
And some
All
people
right.
are now shocked and scared that 1987 car is an antique.
I
And it's
know, I
20 years old.
know, I know. I mean, I know. Anyways, so I am going to take my water droplets and I'm going to now die cut them so that we can add them to the card. I just knew that we would lose them if I had you guys die cut them for class. I know I would lose mine at least. So I'm going to use a little piece of that yellow tape that I use to hold my images, to hold my die.
And some people are taking off because they've got to go to work early, but we appreciate you guys being here, and we're excited that you can finish up with the replay later.
Yes, and we're almost done, those of you that are hanging in with us, but totally understand if you have to go. You're gluing a lot of stuff over there, Kelly.
Well, I'm doing the card bases finally.
Oh, that's a crazy idea.
A novel. Jen's not into using them. She just has them. Of course, I did it crooked.
I at least have them listed. Someday my cards will make it to card bases.
The cards I made earlier didn't have card bases. Don't worry. I stick with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been working with all of our fall winter stuff. Lots of snow themed things. Creating for our virtual trade show that's in July. And then now we're making summer cards. So this is
I know, it's crazy. Like when I was helping design some of those cards for the virtual trade show, to jump into like snow and then be like, okay, summer. Like I helped Hero Arts with their release and did beachy stuff. I'm like, summer, snow, summer, snow.
I know it's all very confusing. And then we're also working on Valentine's.
Yeah, you're another level of confusing.
Yeah.
The thing is, Valentine's never feels like seasonal to me, or like a weather specific. So at least that makes it a little less confusing.
Yes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add my little droplets on with my glue tube. Now that I have them die cut. And then we have just one more thing to do. And it'll be a pool party.
Someone says they feel like that on Christmas. They get all the mixes of holidays and weathers and
Yep. All right, and then go ahead, Kelly. You first.
Someone says they can't wait until next one, which we can't either. We're excited, so keep an eye out for a midsummer Create With Us class.
And remember, whenever there's a Lawn Fawn release on the Create With Us page, we update it with the date and the time of the next one and the handout and all of that. So you can kind of get in the habit of checking that out as you guys are looking at the new release. All right, so now I'm going to take Glossy Accents and I'm going to add it to the little water droplets that we just added to the card. Just going to pierce mine. It's been sitting a couple days.
And I'm going to you can use Glossy Accents. I'm using the Lawn Fawn Clear Glaze.
Cute.
Both look awesome.
And then I am using Glossy Accents on the inner tube.
I just sprayed out way too much. I don't have the steadiest hand, so that happens to me sometimes.
That happens to me too. What the beauty of it is you can usually quickly wipe it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
And I'm also going to add some to the beach ball. little things like that, you guys. Doesn't take a lot of effort, cost a lot of money, but it really just adds a little something, something. So again, I added it to the droplets. I added it to the inner tube. I think somebody had talked about doing that earlier. And then you can see down here, I added it to the beach ball. I love that my lights are picking up on that for you guys tonight. And then we have 2 wicked cute summery, my favorite cards. Yay!
Yay! I love this liquid stardust background.
Isn't that fun? It's really
my favorite
subtle,
part of
but
the whole
really
class.
pretty.
It's gorgeous.
Thank
I love
you.
it.
Thanks.
I'm glad I didn't voice over the sunray video just yet, because I'm going to tell people to come check out this live to see the text.
Yay! I love it. All right. Sorry, I didn't warn you, Kelly. You still had your glasses on.
No, but now what's getting tough is like now when I take off my glasses, like, you know,
You can't see.
yeah, it's getting more and more blurry. The reading. So I'm like, oh boy. So I keep needing more and more.
So hopefully you guys had fun. And again, these Create With Us classes are just meant to get your creative juices flowing. And I know some people are like, you know, oh, I don't have a lot of time to create. And my thought is, if you're hanging out with us, then maybe just stamp out some images and color them. You know, just allow yourself to hang out with us, but also do a little bit of creative stuff. Maybe you were exhausted tonight and you just wanted to chit chat. You know, you can always come back to these videos and watch them again. And you can always fast forward through the chit chat if you really just want to make the cards. But yeah, hopefully you guys had fun. We had fun with you, you know, with all of you joining us.
Yeah, this has been such a great time. And I love, Debbie mentioned that she said that she enjoyed herself because this is like I'm crafting with friends rather than by myself. And I feel the exact same way.
That's exactly why we started them.
Yeah, I love that so much. That's really like the whole feeling behind Create With Us. I'm so glad that we were able to create together and just have fun crafting with friends, right?
Yeah,
we did
totally.
Have a question. Someone was asking when the Lock On new Christmas papers will be out. That's with our fall winter release towards the end of August-ish. And the new papers are really great. There's one of them is going to have a foiling on them, so kind of like we did last year. So it's one of my favorites. I love it. I think you guys are going to love them. It's so pretty. And so I'm excited for those papers for sure.
Well, Kelly's answering a couple questions. I'm just going to throw this slide up here. I did mention this at the beginning of Create With Us, but just a reminder, my next online class is Just Add Glitter. It is this Friday, so I know if you didn't know about it, it is short notice, but remember, you can always take the class when it's convenient for you. And there is a link there at the bottom of the screen that will bring you right to the details. And if you guys ever have any questions, you can always reach out to me as well, and I'm happy to answer them. There are 2 stores that do kits for my classes. Scrappy Chic in Michigan and the Paper Crafters Workshop up in Canada. I don't know if they still have any kits left. I didn't remember to check with them today, but all of those details are on my website that's linked below.
And take a look at the comments on both Facebook and YouTube. We're linking to Jen's Just Add Glitter class. Maybe you can, I think, link to that too, Rebecca. Okay. I mean, just right now?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I think I have just a delay on mine.
A 20-second delay.
Yeah, so between the 2. So yes, you guys can click that link and check out the class. I mean, even just that little preview, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just, I can tell it's all rainbow happiness.
We're going to be glittering. Let's just say that.
Yes, rainbow and glitter. I mean, it says it in the title. So
I mean, the set was honestly made for me. Not
I'm
gonna
assuming
lie.
you're wearing your glitter all the things sweatshirt.
I know. Well, I was packing
During the
orders with it, and it got dirty, so it's
Yeah,
not clean.
but you gotta wear it for the Just Add Glitter
Oh
class
yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
So make sure you guys check out Jen's classes. Make sure you're signed up for the Lawn Fawn newsletter and follow us on social media because we have something really fun on June 29th. And we will be doing another Create With Us class in kind of mid-summer. So we'll send out all the information for that too. We're really excited about it. So keep an eye out, for some little sneaks. And we're just really excited about what we got coming. And we're really grateful to you guys for being here and hanging out with us and crafting with us. It's always so much fun. And we really appreciate you guys joining us.
Yeah, remember, Kelly said June 29th might be a special day. Anything else, Kelly?
No, I think that's it. I'm just excited that we get to see you guys soon in the summer. And then, of course, with fall, winter, we'll have, I'm guessing a fall class and a winter class then for Create With Us. And of course, Jen's going to have her incredible online classes too. So we're just excited for all of it. And we're just so grateful you guys were here. And it's fun way to kick off summer. So we're excited.
Yay. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And if you're catching the replay, thank you for doing that as well. And we will